What is up, people? Dev Sage here, and I'm going to be telling you about map, filter, and reduce. So map, filter, and reduce are three higher order functions in JavaScript that allow us to write cleaner and more concise code. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. We're starting with map. So let us say we have an array of numbers, just 1 to 5. And what we want to do is we want to take all these values, multiply them by 2, and store those new values into some new array. So what we can do then, let's say const new array equals array dot map, and map is going to take in a callback function which is going to be executed on each individual value of the array that it was called on. So in order to kind of identify the current value that we're on, we're going to pass in just a single parameter inside of this callback. We're just going to call it current. You can call it whatever you want. And map is going to return a new value that you want to store in this new array. So basically what we said we wanted to do is multiply those old values by 2. So what we're going to do is return current times 2. And then we're just going to console log our new array. And as you can see, we have an array here with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, which represent all of the values from the old array times 2. Now, this doesn't change the value of the old array. We will console log the old array, and we see that it's still intact. This creates a brand new array and stores those new values in the new array. Alright, so now we're going to move on to filter. So let's say we have another array here of numbers, and we're just going to go to 10. And let us say we want to get all of the even numbers out of this array and store those values into some new array. So we're just going to say const even numbers equals array dot filter. Filter likewise is going to take in a callback function which will be executed on each of these individual values, and it's going to take in the current value that we're on. But instead of returning some value like map does, we're actually going to return a Boolean, a true or false value, indicating whether or not this value should be included in this new array. So what we can say is return current mod 2 equals 0. So this is going to return true if the current value that we're on is an even number. Else that value will get ignored and we'll move on to the next one. So let's just console log our old array and our new array, even numbers, run it, and as you can see, we have our array of old values and our new array, which is only the even numbers from our old array. Yeah, so now we're just going to move on to reduce. So unlike map and filter, which return arrays, reduce actually just returns a singular value. So let's just say we have another integer array, just going to 5 again, and let's say I want to take the sum of all of these values. So I can say something like sum equals array dot reduce, which is going to take in a callback function, but it's going to take in 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be the accumulator, and the second parameter is the current value that we're on. Now the accumulator is going to represent it's going to represent a running total of the reduce function at this point. So let me add this. So we want to return accumulator plus current in order to get the running sum. Current, of course, is just going to represent the current value at that point, but accumulator can actually remember values across the entire iteration of the array. So essentially, at the first call of reduce, accumulators by default start at 0. So we're going to have 0 plus the current value that we're on, which is 1. And then this value is actually going to be the accumulator of the next call. So now accumulator is equal to 1. And on our next call, we have a new accumulator plus the current value that we're on, which is 2. Accumulator is equal to 3. On the next call, 3 plus the current value that we're on 3. Accumulator equal to 6. Next call, we have our accumulator plus the current value is equal to 10. On our final call, our accumulator plus, by now we're on this value, the 5, so plus 5, accumulator equals 15. So this value, the 15, is what we should get if we decide to print out the value of sum. And in this case, you see that is what we get. So that's just a little bit about map, filter, and reduce in JavaScript. If you like this video, leave a like. If you have any questions, if I went through anything too fast, just leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. But other than that, peace.